Are you worried about getting sick or hurt on your trip? We've done over 40 cruises,
And 5 of those were ocean crossings.
days at sea with no port, no ambulance, nothing but us in the water. You learn fast what to pack and what to actually do to try to stay healthy.
So we're going to cover everything that we do.
The kit and every habit that goes with it for the road, the air, and the sea.
I'm Doug, this is Leah, and we're Go Travel Life.
First, we want to thank Dana for asking us this question.
Yeah, we know how hard it can be to get sick or hurt on a trip.
It happens to everyone, but here's the thing. This isn't just a cruise topic. It's every mode of travel, planes, hotels, ships, and it's not always as simple as walking into a pharmacy and grabbing what you need. We learned that one the hard way in France.
Yeah, Leah needed some antacids, so I went down to the pharmacy and I tried to convey the best way that I could that we needed antacids. I even pointed to my stomach, and it turns out when I got back to the hotel, they were diet pills that they gave me.
Yeah, so completely different problem. So now we pack ahead because you can't always translate your way out of it.
So let's open the bag.
So this is our actual travel medical bag, and we're going to show you what is in it. First of all, decongestant. That's a pretty simple one. We also have combo COVID flu tests because knowing what you're dealing with decides what you do next.
Skin glue / liquid bandage.
Yeah, because he's on a blood thinner and a small cut needs to be addressed right away, and that stuff is excellent.
And of course, we also bring regular band-aids.
Yeah. A wrist or an ankle wrap for the twist your ankle on the gangway moment. I actually missed a step coming off the tube in London, and I was so glad I had this. I've used it on quite a few trips, unfortunately.
Yeah. We bring a thermometer.
Yeah. Antibiotic ointments. This is a big one. Somebody's always getting cut or bit. I also bring Benadryl, both the cream and the tablets, because he tends to have small allergic reactions to stuff.
Yeah, and if you have an EpiPen, bring that along.
Yeah, so a quick note on decongestant. Check what's actually allowed where you're going. So Sudafed, for example, we learned before we went to Japan is banned there, so prescription or not.
Yeah, not just Japan, though.
A few countries restrict meds that are totally normal here. So before any trip, check your destination specific restrictions. Your embassy's website is the most reliable place to look, not a forum post. Quick note on the TSA for United States folks, liquid and gel medications don't have to fit in the tiny 3.4 ounce bag.
Yeah, but you still do need to declare it at the checkpoint.
Yeah. The agent should screen them separately and then you should be on your way. But these rules change. So make sure to check out the tsa.gov link. We put it in the description for the most current rules.
Bonine for motion sickness.
Yeah, so whether it's a rough sea or a bumpy flight, Dramamine might work for you as well. But we have said this before. First, choose that room on a cruise ship, midship, center, lower part of the ship if you can, for if you're a little more prone to seasickness. We also take it before we get out of bed, like an hour before. We let it settle when the seas are super rough. So if you wait until you're already sick, it can actually be too late to be effective.
Yeah, they do also have patches that are available by prescriptions and that you put behind your ear.
Yeah, so just check with your doctor. There's also some natural remedies that people swear by. Ginger chews and ginger ale are two options as well.
Yeah, we also bring ibuprofen, Tylenol.
Yeah, for pain. Cough drops. I always have a bag of cough drops with me.
Emergency vitamin C.
Yeah, so these we take just as soon as we start to have a scratchy throat or early coughing. It's worked really well to kind of ward that off for us.
Antacids, not diet pills.
The real ones this time.
Electrolytes for dehydration.
Yeah, this is important, so especially if you're going someplace really hot. They go right into your water bottle. We make sure we have a couple of them in our backpack with our water bottle when we're on excursions in hot places as well. And one we added after enough strange meals in countries.
Yeah, that's Miralax.
Yeah, sorry about the topic. You don't need to buy a big bottle. You can buy travel packets to use. But when you're eating food that you don't usually eat on a schedule that isn't yours, I mean, things can get uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's better to have it and not need it.
On the other end of the spectrum, antidiarrheals, and I'm going to leave it at that. You can figure that one out on your own. And to wrap it all up, I've got a little checklist here for you if it helps.
Yeah, here's a habit that travels with us everywhere we go, not just on cruises.
So we wipe everything down, all high-touch surfaces, with antibacterial wipes when we get in. So whether it's tray table and air vent nozzles on the plane, TV remotes, door handles, in a hotel room.
Yeah, same thing goes for the cruise ship.
Yeah, so that little overhead nozzle on a plane gets touched by just about everyone who's flown that seat before you, and it rarely gets cleaned between flights. So 30 seconds with a wipe, and you're not thinking about it for the rest of the trip.
Yeah, one more layer, especially in tight indoor spaces.
Yeah, so a security line, a packed elevator, a crowded terminal, we'll pack an N95 or KN95 mask, not to wear the whole trip typically, but for those bottleneck moments. And that's more about respiratory stuff, so flu, colds, COVID, than it is stomach bugs.
Yeah, different bug, different tool.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Hand sanitizer, the alcohol kind,
does not work on norovirus.
And it's the one bug most people are actually worried about on a ship, and standard sanitizer just isn't built for it. So we carry the hydrochloric acid spray. Ours is called Clear Smart, and it's a proven effective on surfaces against norovirus.
Yeah, but the best thing is still soap and water for at least 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's still the go-to for hands, but when soap and water isn't available, this is kind of our backup layer.
Either way, the fix is the same idea.
So what doesn't work on its own is the alcohol gel by the elevator. So it's a good habit, but the wrong bug.
And at the buffet, we look for anything made to order or handled by the staff.
So think the omelet station, the grill to order, wok station, made to order pasta or stir fry, prepared salads and dishes that are behind the counter. When we can, we go sit down service or room service instead. And if you do want that self-serve dish,
the one you're not going to walk away from,
just wash your hands once when you walk in, and then again after your plate is full, before you pick up your silverware. That covers you on both ends of the shared serving line. That one habit really undoes a lot of the risk right there. Stair railings, bathroom door handles.
Yeah, wash your hands afterwards.
And one more, when you're leaving a public restroom, grab a paper towel or a tissue to open the door. Most ships, airport, hotel rooms we've seen have them within reach.
Yeah, it's a small thing and it costs you just a couple seconds.
So we sit toward the back of the theater on a cruise ship or even a land show if we can. There's just better air movement.
Yeah, and generally we sit behind what we like to call the coughing zone.
Yeah, and if the show isn't landing for us, we can slip out without anybody noticing. For excursions, we lean towards private or small group tours over the big buses. Part of it's health.
Yeah, but part of it's fewer people and less exposure.
Yeah, honestly, we just enjoy it more. We gravitate towards outdoor excursions as well.
Yeah, we like to do a lot of hikes and walking tours.
And we choose these over sitting in a bus or a van all day, so that does tend to shape what we pick. By the way, we did a full episode ranking tour providers, whether it's cruise or land-based, both. There's a link up here if that's helpful.
And we do try to keep our gym routine going while we're on board or in a hotel.
Yeah, it helps us keep moving and flexible. But while we're cruising, we read the ship. So on a rough sea day, a treadmill or elliptical is just basically a recipe for a fall.
Yeah, I have even seen a 25-pound weight fall right off a barbell. We were on a Celebrity Transatlantic, and the motion of the ship caused this to happen.
Yeah. So floor yoga, stretching, do some of those things. It's a good benefit for your body and keeps you off a moving belt.
Give the nod to the safer option. Your knees will thank you. And speaking of details that matter.
So we've got a full episode coming up on travel insurance with an insurance partner where we will get into how this works. But the bottom line for now, it is wise to be covered for anything that might happen.
Yeah, we have travel insurance for every single one of our trips.
So stay tuned for that one. So that's our kit. That's our routine, whether plane, hotel, ship.
All the same habits.
Yeah, so we know a lot of you have been traveling a lot longer than us, and if you've got a trick we haven't stumbled upon yet, tell us what we missed.
Yeah, drop a comment and let us know.
If our detail-driven videos are helping you, or if you picked up something new here, consider sharing this one with someone who might need it.
Yeah, maybe a friend who's about to go on that first really big trip.
That's the kind of thing that actually helps us keep making these.
Details, not drama.
Thanks for watching.